Here we have the battle of the entry level wheels. We've got the Thrustmaster T248, we've got the Logitech G923 and the Moza R3. All on my desk, all side by side, but which one should you be buying for around about £300? So first up, let's start with the form factor. So we've got the Thrustmaster T248 here. It's a fixed wheel rim, so you can't remove it, and it mounts to the desk with a sort of screw mount underneath, which seems to mount reasonably solidly. It's not bad at all. It's happy to move my desk there without moving too much else, and everything is plugged in underneath the wheels. You have to wire it in the back. We'll get to the pedals in a moment. Then you've got the Thrustmaster G923. The mounting on this is actually these sort of wheels here that you turn, which feels a bit flimsy, but actually it's solidly on there. And it's definitely the easiest mounting solution of any of them because it's all just there, ready to go. You don't need to screw anything, it's nice and easy. And once again, not a removable wheel and everything plugs in down underneath. Then you've got the Moza R3. So this one is basically completely different. So first of all, you can remove the wheel, which I can do with one hand there, which has actually got a really nice quick release that goes back on. Like that, really solid. Everything plugs in at the back of this one, so not underneath, which is quite nice. And obviously it is nice and small. I mean, you can see the size comparison of that versus the other two. Now, in terms of build quality, honestly, they're pretty much in order. The Thrustmaster one is pretty cheap. I mean, listen to this. It just, all of it feels super plasticky, super cheap. It shows its £300 price tag, and I haven't used it yet, but in terms of just how it feels, it definitely feels, I mean, even the plastic here, super shiny, super, just feels tacky and cheap. You know this one's cheap. Anyone will know just the first time you touch it. Moving on to the the Logitech G923, definitely a step up. I mean, you've got this sort of faux leather type material. The buttons do feel definitely nicer, but still cheap, but it's not too bad. I mean, listen to these clicks. The clicks are definitely nicer. They make a nice noise. You're not gonna annoy anyone in your house with that versus this. That'll wind people up. So definitely a step up in build quality. Then you've got the Moza R3, which I feel like is comparable to the Logitech, but probably a slight step again, at least in terms of the button feel. The wheel feel is a bit more plasticky than what the Logitech's got with this sort of leather type feel, and the shifters are just that much noisier than Logitech as well. But still way, way above the Thrustmaster, which is just, I don't want to press those anymore. But yeah, I mean, reasonable build quality. For the price tag, I feel like this is the sort of build quality you expect, but the Logitech to me is the winner for build quality. So before we get to the pedals, let's just hone in on the mounting options. So you can see you've got this super sort of simple, really, mounting option for the Moza, but actually it works quite nicely. It does require a little bit of assembly. You can see under here, you've got some bolts that you have to apply when you very first get the wheel. So super simple, just got these windy knobs here that you screw on. Nice big adjustment range though, so you can see quite a lot thicker desk, and this isn't exactly a thin desk. So good mounting options, along with the ability to actually mount it straight to a rig. The Logitech, on the other hand, as I said, it's got these built-in kind of, I don't know, knobs, I guess. They're all built in, which is good because it means it's super, super easy to both set up and to get on and off your desk. So that's quite nice. The adjustment range isn't as big, and weirdly it comes with these kind of black plastic things that are sort of pre-mounted inside here. I initially actually thought that it wasn't going to fit on my desk, but thankfully I was able to remove these and then it was able to fit on my desk. So yeah, the mounting option on this, it's kind of nice in some ways because it's all built in, it's all captive, but definitely probably quite basic. But again, it's, you know, they're all solidly on there. None of these are moving around at all, which is really nice. Moving on to the Thrustmaster T248 then, with, I don't know, sort of halfway between the previous two, honestly, like quite a basic screw system here. You just spin this to screw it on. I can't even do it now because I've done it so tight, but you just spin that to screw it on and it just kind of clamps this bit onto the desk. Really nice big movement range. Again, all captive, very similar to the Logitech, so you're not going to lose it, you're not going to lose any bolts or anything like that. And it all comes pretty much pre-installed. I mean, you do have to install this bolt, but it's a single thing. So again, relatively easy and nice and solidly on there once again. Yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. So yeah, honestly, mounting options, I think they're all pretty similar. The Moza to me is just a bit nicer, but it does require a bit more setup. And obviously it's a bit more, unwieldy. Look at that. I mean, if you are going to take it off your desk and store it somewhere, it's going to be a bit more of a pain. Whereas this, you know, look at that. It's also nice and neatly packaged on the Logitech. So if that is a big consideration for you, the Logitech could be the winner here. And again, Thrustmaster kind of somewhere between the two. So moving down onto the pedals then. So obviously you can see straight away that the Moza does not come with a clutch pedal by default, but you can buy that as an optional extra, whereas the other two do come with the clutch pedal. Obviously we can't get a feel for the drum just yet. I'll try them in just a moment. But for now, I mean, the build quality of Thrustmaster honestly feels reasonable. You've got these sort of metal faceplates here, which are quite nice. And the pedals, to the hand at least, feel quite nice and premium. The base is sort of plasticky, but it's sort of rugged enough. One bad thing about the Thrustmaster I've noticed straight away though is, look, with my little finger, I can push it backwards very, very easily, and there is no carpet grip or anything underneath. So you're going to have something behind it to stop it sliding, or it will just move around. Moving on to the Logitech, again, it's kind of similar to the Thrustmaster, really. You can tell these guys are super rivals. The pedals to the hand feel quite premium. We'll try them physically. Again, you've got plastic here. It does feel a little bit cheaper down the bottom here, but this one has got a carpet grip, so I've got absolutely no chance to remove that, even with my whole hand. Oh, I did just about move it, but that did not sound good for my carpet. Underneath here, you've got the carpet grip there, which is actually retractable, so you don't have to use it. But obviously, I think most people realistically play on. There you go. Popped it back out, which just grips instantly to whatever you're putting it on, and boom, just grips really nicely. So that's really nice. Moving on to the Moza, definitely clearly the more simple of the two, but you've got metal. So definitely build quality is a lot nicer of the Moza pedals. Just the two pedals, but you can move them. You can see here they're just screwed in, so they come quite far apart. But you can move them more centrally if you prefer, and obviously add that clutch pedal if you want to. Once again, metal, so pretty nice build quality, not as shiny as the other two, but still metal. Feel reasonably premium, although that brake does feel pretty darn light to me. So, I mean, is that a clutch? I don't know. It's just a spring back here. It feels super light. I'm gonna have to check. They did send me a separate clutch, but I didn't want to use that. I wanted to just be exactly as it comes in the box, rather than using optional extras. But yeah, again, weirdly, no carpet grip or anything underneath. It is just rubber, but it doesn't move. I mean, again, little finger test here. Okay, it does move a little bit, but it's a lot better than what the Thrustmaster is, that's for sure. So we'll see how it is in use. I'm not going to have it propped up against anything initially. In terms of plugging them in, this one does have a removable cable, which is quite nice. These two are captive cables. You cannot remove the cable, so if something happens to your cable, that's it. Your pedals are gone, and you need a whole new set of pedals at the very least, if not a whole new wheel, whereas this one you can, in theory, just get a new cable. So for me, my winner here, for now, is Moza. Build quality nicer, removable cable, all that stuff. Still seems to grip to the carpet quite nicely. Movable pedals, but we will see what they feel like when I drive it. Okay, let's actually try it then. Starting with the Thrustmaster T248. So straight off the bat, I can tell you that you definitely do need to prop it up against something, because there's absolutely no way I can put any force on those pedals without them sliding backwards. But luckily we have got them there where we can put some against them. Obviously I'm a bit offset here compared to what I would be. In fact, I might even turn the screen a little bit like that. But it's just a quick test. I'm also not going to go into massive detail in terms of trying to configure them perfectly. This is supposed to be a quick side-by-side test of each of them. We're using default settings for all of them, and that's that. Now, obviously, this first one, we have got some different force feedback systems. This first one is just gear-driven, I believe. So we're just going to get straight on track and try it. Let's do it. So first of all, I like that you've got the customizable display in here, which you seem to be able to change quite easily if I just pause for a second between the various things. So I can just toggle very, very easily. I want the revs. I want to shift lighters really. If I wanted the speed, there you go, speed 249. Let's have that in there, boom. As easy as that to change it. Really, really nice. All right, now obviously I am used to a Moza R9, so I'm used to much more expensive kit. You can hear that horrible, horrible clicking of the gear shifter. You can do it a little bit quieter, not much quieter. Now I'm running Silverstone here. I have got a very, very competitive lap at Silverstone, so we'll see if I can get anywhere near it. Well, straight off the bat, I'm driving. It's not like I can't drive. Yeah, the force feedback though, I can feel me turning the gears more than I can feel what the game is trying to tell me, genuinely. So like, it does move a little bit, look, but I can't feel the car there at all. All I can feel is the resistance of the gears, the natural resistance of the wheel. It's more hinting. It's not even hinting at me. It's like whispering very, very quietly in my ear over a Formula 1 engine about what the car's trying to do. I've got no real feel. I've got some kind of natural resistance because of the gears, as in the gears inside the force feedback unit, but I can't feel the car. Down the straight, I can feel it moving a little bit, but it's like, it's almost like this force feedback isn't designed to actually give me feel, almost like for children so they think they've got some feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely don't think this force feedback is adding really anything. I honestly think a nice spring, not just a real cheap spring, a nice spring that gives you consistent results and makes it feel premium nice would feel better than this. That's how little force feedback I've got from this thing. Also, bear in mind, I've installed no software here. I've installed no software. The screen just works, and that's a really nice thing with Thrustmaster. That's something I found with the other wheels as well. Oh, the pedals lift up when you hit them as well. Yeah, this is... I can't speak for the other wheels just yet, but already I'm thinking, don't buy this wheel. It's just, like, so bad. I suppose if you found one for very cheap and your child wants to have a go at some driving, maybe it's fine. And maybe it's fine for something like, I don't know, Euro Truck Sim, something where the feel isn't important. But if you want to go racing, if you want to do Formula 1 game or even more so Sims, you need to be able to feel what the car's doing, which I just cannot here. So, as I said, maybe for the more basic applications, not under any circumstances for some actual racing. And honestly, that's all I need. I don't need to play that anymore. Cheap wheel, cheap feeling, nice screen, relatively easy setup, terrible force feedback. For £300, I'm not sure I could recommend that to anyone. If it was like £100, fair. Good entry level wheel for that price. You get a little bit of force feedback. It's cheap, but it does the job fine. Not I mean, I saw it online for £250. Not even for that. Okay, onto the Logitech G923. Now the Logitech has got a special place in my heart because I started out sim racing with a Logitech Driving Force GT. But honestly, these wheels haven't moved on that much as far as I can tell in that amount of time. So this is once again a gear driven wheel, but it has got the True Force system, which supposedly is a better force feedback system for supported games only. Now I did have to install the Logitech software for this, slightly annoyingly. The Thrustmaster literally just plug in and just worked. It just didn't work without it. The game didn't recognize the wheel, the pedals didn't work. I had to install the Logitech software. There was no way around it. So a little bit annoying. But other than that, I've changed nothing in the software other than just installing it. And we are just set up and ready to go here. So let's go out on track. So straight away, the feel of it, the pedals, obviously they grip the ground much better. The brake is way heavier, but what is that noise? That cannot be right. Okay, I fixed it. It was audio effect. It was called audio effects. Maybe that's a True Force thing. It was making that noise on purpose. Why would you? Why? At least you could turn it off. Why would you want that? Okay, hold on. Let me turn it back on. Now I know it's on purpose. Let me turn it back on. Hold on. I like over the curb because that sounds like a curb. That's quite nice. But just driving on a track, it just sort of grumbling. Oh my god. Nah, I can't. I don't know why it's got that. I hate it. But all right, let's switch that off and then let's just drive it normally. So anyway, other than that, as I said, the throttle, interestingly, I think I underappreciated the pedals because they were moving around a lot on the Thrustmaster. But actually, the throttle was quite nice on the Thrustmaster, to be honest. It was a nice feel, and the clutch is very similar. The brake was quite loose, but I don't mind a loose brake personally. It's an entry-level wheel. You're not expecting a super heavy load cell brake. This though, the throttle is like almost just like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's almost like non-existent in terms of the weight. Really, really poor throttle feel on this. Really, really poor. The brake is definitely a little bit firmer than on the Thrustmaster, but not excessively so. And I'd say it feels quite nice. In terms of force feedback, now we haven't got the horrible noise. There's definitely more than on the Thrustmaster. I'd say when I turn the wheel, most of the force is still just the gear resistance, the natural gear resistance in the wheel. But I have got a little bit more feel for the actual car itself. Let me just go over this grass here. Less in a straight though, look. But is that True Force doing its thing? Maybe. Could well be, not too sure. There's less overall feel, but I suppose because the Thrustmaster had such strong gear resistance, it was just mainly just fighting against itself, which has got less gear resistance, but it just got a weaker motor. I mean, I can barely feel this. Again, honestly, similar to the Thrustmaster, it's hinting at me. It's whispering very, very quietly in my ear about what the car is doing. There is some force feedback there, but it's very, very weak. I honestly am surprised how weak the force feedback is on this wheel because you just can't really feel it. Now the shift lights work out of the box, which is quite nice, obviously once you install the Logitech software, but I haven't changed anything other than that. We're also running the default in-game settings and stuff. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say on it, honestly. It's fine. It's just fine. Do you know what? I'm going to switch the noise back on, just in case the noise for some reason was giving me more feel. Let me just check that. I mean, you get a bit of rumble through the wheel because of it, but see how slow it was to catch that slide? I didn't know it was happening until it was too late. Again, on a similar to Thrustmaster, there's very, very little feel. The throttle pedal's worse. The pedals are much more stable, they're not moving around, but the throttle pedal's got no feel to it. The actual physical wheel is definitely nicer. It's a little bit more premium, it's usable, but again, there's just not enough force feedback really there to go racing in any real competitive sense, I'd say. You need better force feedback than that. So let's see if the next one has got better force feedback. Okay, now we've got the new kid on the block, the Moza R3. Now this is a direct drive wheel, so there's no gears. There's gonna be none of the gear resistance issues like we had in the other wheels. It is completely free to turn. Zero noise, it should be a lot better, but it's only 3 Newton meters of force. Now it's important to add this one, there's a couple of caveats. First of all, only the PC version retails for £299 for £300. The Xbox version, the one I've got here, retails for £400, an extra £100 just for console support. Meanwhile, these do support console out of the box. So, in theory, it's a little bit more expensive. So it depends which platform you want. Also, Moza don't currently make a PlayStation wheel at all. So, definitely a few caveats there. We've obviously got one less pedal as well on the bottom. Now, straight away, I think the actual plastic on the end, on the wheel rim doesn't feel as nice, but we've got metal in the middle here, and the buttons do feel quite nice. I did already have the Moza software installed, but I've changed nothing with it. I've just launched it and it's just worked in the game just like all the others. So let's see then. A direct drive, a very, very, very cheap, £300 for direct drive is absolutely unbelievable. For those wondering, direct drive is just a motor. There's no gears, there's no belts. The motor is directly connected to the wheel, nothing in between. So let's do it. Let's see how this feels. Now this should be the best one by far. Now the brake pedal straight away has got honestly less resistance than the other two. Really poor resistance. Have I got the wrong rotation set here? I think I might have. Really poor resistance on the brake pedal. Let me just make sure that I've got 360 degrees set. Another thing I will say about this wheel is, when I first plugged it in, the PC didn't detect it. It's only when I went to the Moza software that said, oh hey, you're in PlayStation, Xbox mode, you got to press these 2 buttons combined to put it in PC mode. Why? You know I've got it plugged in, just change it. It's strange, which I genuinely thought was broken at first. Anyway, let's try that again with, yeah, that's better, proper degrees rotation. All right, so, well, straight off the bat, I've got unbelievable amounts more feel, which you'd expect, but it being such a small and cheap direct drive motor, I didn't think I necessarily would have. But, I mean, yeah, look, it's not strong, but oh my word, can I feel this better. Shift lights don't work though by default, so that's a definite drawback there. Also, this wheel's not very straight. I must have to center it. So unlike the others, which just work, they're designed to be plug and play, there is definitely a little bit more of a, I'm gonna call it a learning curve, I suppose, with this wheel. A few difficulties being the new kid on the block. Let me center this wheel so I can actually steer straight. It's a little bit weird how my feet so far apart, but I can move those pedals around, no problem. It's just the way they come in the box. But yeah, oh my God, I mean, just so much more. I can feel the car. I can actually feel the car. I could race with this for sure. I've got more vibrations in the straight that I can feel stuff going on, but obviously that's not a biggie, but. So, yeah. So definitely not nearly as much feel as my R9. That's not a surprise, obviously. But I wondered if it would be enough anyway. Yeah, I feel like it's almost a bit muddy. It's like, it's definitely got more force than these two. It's got more force than both of these combined, comfortably. But it's like, it's almost a bit muddy. Now this could be a setting configuration thing. And once again, I've just moved my pedals back there, so it's not great on carpet with nothing extra. Let's try and get sideways again here. Yeah, see, I'm just, nah. It's like, there is definitely more feel to it, and you can probably get used to it more. Because I mean, there, look. You see, it's self-correcting, so the feel is there. It's just a little bit muddy now. And do you know what? The other two, I genuinely didn't feel like there was any point in adjusting any settings with those other two, because there was just no force there to begin with. This one, I feel like it's maybe tweakable. Let me see if I can find some settings to get rid of the sort of weird muddy feelings so it can just free itself up and allow me to feel what I want to feel from it. Okay, so we've got a very high wheel damp here. In fact, the highest wheel damper of any of them so far. The others were on 10 and 15, so that'll be part of it. The rest is exactly the same though as the other two. Let me put it down to 10, that's what Logitech had. Natural damping. Natural friction. Okay, so we have got quite a lot going on here. And the other two, at a glance, just didn't have these settings. There was nothing I could see to be able to tweak. So I guess if I just, should I just literally switch all these off? Put that right down. It's got the exact same settings as my much more expensive R9 has got, which is awesome. Okay, straight away, it's a lot looser. Whoa, hello, there you go. Look at all that movement it's got now, hold on. Look at that. Okay, it feels stronger. It feels stronger. I suppose it's putting more force into giving me, more energy into giving me the feel rather than into, yeah, that's way better. Oh my God, that's night and day. Why the hell is there so much damping by default? There you go, catching slides. It's not perfect because honestly, you do still want more force in this. 3 isn't really enough. You want more force in this. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that this is the greatest wheel in the world, but this is entry level. You can get this for £300, including everything. Look, the other two were whispering very quietly in my ear about what was going on. It's speaking to me in a hushed tone as to what's going on with the car. It's not shouting at me like some heavier wheels would do, which sort of almost force you to feel the car. Not at all, but it's telling me what's going on with the car. I can hear it, I can feel it, I can hear what it's trying to tell me. Well, there we go then. That's the 3 entry level wheels. And I think we've got a pretty clear winner. Certainly for the feel on track, it's obviously the Moza R3. I mean, that was to be expected being the only direct drive we're here, but remember, it's the same cost as the others, so it is a fair comparison. Now, I should add a few extra bits. First of all, obviously, we don't have a clutch pedal with this one. There is just a throttle and a brake, and the brake was super, super light. Honestly, I think the force feedback is enough to overcome that, but still. But you can buy this optional extra for the Moza R3. It is a brake performance kit. It's 30 quid. And that would presumably make it much stiffer. I'm not even gonna try it in this video because I don't think it's fair to go, oh, hey, this wheel that I've added loads extra to, but it's loads better because of it. Obviously it isn't. For me, honestly, without any extras, that exactly as it is, and if that was the PC spec, it would be £299, is just the biggest night and day improvement. Honestly, although I use a Moza normally, if you were here right now and I got you to try all these wheels, didn't tell you how much they are, just pick one, there's no way in hell you would pick either of these two wheels. You would always pick the Moza R3. It's not as good as the other wheels in some ways. It doesn't have a clutch pedal. It doesn't have a carpet grip like the Logitech does. The mounting is a little bit basic, but still does the job. But it's just better. And then when you add into that, things like you can get the extra brake performance kit. Things like you can remove the wheelbase or the wheel rim just like that, super easy. So you can literally buy a different wheel rim for it. You're not stuck to it, whereas these two are completely fixed. This one even, look how much that wheel, can you see that? Look how much that wheel moves. That is genuinely, despite being a fixed wheel rim, is way, way worse than what this is. And this is sort of somewhere in between. So genuinely, despite the fact it's removable, it's more solid. So that's nice that you can change that. It's also nice that it's so easily mountable to a rig because you can completely remove the wheel clamp nice and easily. Obviously, we've already covered the pedals being customizable. It's also got loads and loads of ports in the back for various other things like dashes and things like that. So there's loads of stuff. So once you add all that in, it feels like a different category. It feels like these two cost 100 quid and this one costs 300. And I've gone, oh, let's put them side by side and let's see. Well, obviously that one's gonna win. That's how big the difference is. It really is. Now, obviously we have got a new wheel coming from Logitech. We have got a brand new direct drive entry level wheel from Logitech, which I'm very, very, very excited for. I haven't been able to review it yet, but if Logitech can sort me out one of those, I will happily compare it directly to the R3 because that is going to be hopefully some competition for it. As I said, Logitech got a special place in my heart, so I think potentially it could have some competition. But as it is right now, these three side by side, there's only one winner. It's the R3.